I said it last week. Each episode gets better and better. Hello, everyone. I'm Dman number 5, and today I'm talking about the newest episode released of Ahsoka. This is episode 6, I believe, titled Far, Far Away. This episode was... if there was, like, a way of saying each character gets, like, an equal episode, this would be the example, because last week we got mainly just an Ahsoka episode and didn't see that much of Sabine, or didn't even, like, focus that much on the main story that much, but instead... we got an Ahsoka episode last week. Now this week we got a Sabine episode, or as I want to call it, a Rebels episode. But this is a really good episode. I was into it. I was way into it. Opening shot opens with a beautifully well done CGI animated scene of like the Plurgal whales flying through hyperspace, and inside is Ahsoka Tano with Hu Yang. And if you didn't really catch it, they made kind of a meta joke about Star Wars, because Ahsoka brings up Hu Yang, who used to tell these stories of the galaxy back during way before the Clone Wars, back when she was in the temple. And Hu Yang mentions, "Oh, I love telling those stories." And then Ahsoka says, "Part 1 was always the best." That's a fucking meta joke to Star Wars. That is either... It's not the prequels are the best. It might mean the original trilogy is the best, or A New Hope is the best. And then they kind of... like make the joke even better. This might not even be a meta joke, this is just what I think, but they make it way better by ending the scene with them in the episode, with Ahsoka saying, "Hey, can you tell the stories again?" And then Hu Yang starts it off like, this could be seen a mile away, but I don't know how. I was laughing my ass off when he did it. He says, "All right, we'll start from the beginning. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." It's such like a cheap joke, but I love it because it's done so well. And I don't know why. I like that scene with Ahsoka and Hu Yang. And then we flash forward. We cut to Sabine. Oh, I get his name wrong. Balin, Shai, and Morgan Elsbeth arriving at a planet that basically has been holding Thrawn exile. And one thing that they do mention that's actually really badass and kind of menacing is when they arrive, there's a ring around the planet. And usually with rings around planets, it's like, oh, it's asteroids or whatever. But they say, oh, the ring is all the dead, like, space whales. So that means that when the whales that have Ahsoka arrive, they might fucking die. And that's really fucking terrifying. And I thought that was like so cool and so menacing. The guy who plays Balin, I'm probably getting his name wrong, but the guy who plays him does such a good job. He recently died, and I got, while watching this, like, he's like doing so well. I'm hanging off like every word they sang, and I was like saying, like, man, this dude like did the best thing to end like a career and to like leave your life. I got to star in a Star Wars project, a good Star Wars project. I got to be a really good fucking villain, and I left it on a pretty good high note. I'm pretty sure he's gonna die by the end of the season, by the end of the show, but he's such a good villain. I love the way he delivers a line. He looks like he's enjoying every moment. So the four of them arrive on the planet where they meet the Night Sisters, which, if you've watched the Clone Wars, or if you don't know anything, they're like the Star Wars version of witches. But if you've seen Clone Wars, you know exactly who the Night Sisters are. And Morgan Elsbeth has a connection with them. She's actually a Night Sister herself, which is pretty cool. I wonder if her and Maul were a brother and sister. That'd be free. It's just a way for Dave to tie everything in. But so they meet them and they're like, okay, we're here. Where's Thrawn? And then they realize, oh, Sabine's technically a Jedi, so we gotta like put her in prison. So they do. And by that point, I was like looking at my phone, writing down notes, not really paying attention. And I was listening to the dialogue, and I remember hearing them say, Thrawn shall be arriving very soon. And I look up, fucking Thrawn's ship is coming at them. By the way, it's a rundown Star Destroyer from the season finale of Rebels that he was basically trapped in. So menacing, and it's shot so well. It's so good. Oh my god. Like, I looked up, it's literally just coming at them, like, to the mountain that they're on. I'm like, holy shit. It was done so well. You can feel the weight of it too, just like landing, and it like lands on top, like where the hangar doors open, like where TIE fighters come out from the Star Destroyer. It lands on top of the mountain. And, we see all these stormtroopers, and all the stormtroopers have, like, broken armor. They're, like, cracked. They're being held together with, like, ribbon and, like, gold. There's one guy with a really cool mask who has, like, a face, like a gold face for the mask. That guy's got a really cool design. I thought he was going to be Ezra under mind control, but he's not. Because later on in the episode, we'll find out. But then we see Thrawn finally appear. And I laughed, but I immediately, like, took it seriously. The reason why I laughed is because there was a meme of, like, a leaked image of live action Thrawn, and it said, "Oh, it's blue Elon Musk." It fucking is. And I laughed so hard when I saw it, but then once he started talking, I was like, okay. Okay, stop laughing. The guy who plays Thrawn, it's not another actor. It's actually the same guy who did his voice work for Rebels and, like, actually plays him, like, is the actual, like, he is live action Thrawn. And I think that's really cool. I think they've done that before. I just can't remember with which character. I remember it was an important character. I just can't remember which one. I think it might have been Palpatine, maybe. I'm someone put in the comments on who else they did it for. I know it's not Ahsoka, but I know it's not Anakin. I don't know. But Thrawn's really cool. He's got, like, I don't talk about Rebels that much because I wasn't a big fan of it. I was only a fan of, like, certain episodes, and those episodes were, as you figured, the Clone Wars episodes. But I did love Thrawn in it, because he was a good character. And then Moff Gideon came along, I was like, he's basically Thrawn. So I had a little bit of hope for Thrawn, like, expectations for him on, like, he has to, like, outdo Moff Gideon. And he already does. And right when he walks in, I can feel the presence, the, like, weight, the, like, just... The dialogue is so well done, and the way the guy sounds, it's like looking at the animated character, and it's actually come to life. It's like Roger Rabbit, almost. It's really cool. So Thrawn and Sabine finally meet up, and Sabine makes a deal, like, just let me go so I can go find Ezra, and Thrawn's like, okay, you can go find Ezra, but it's a double cross, because he doesn't really care if she finds him. The better question is, how did Ezra lose Thrawn? But so she goes out and she gets into a fight with, I'm just going to say they're bandits. Every Star Wars planet has, like, a group of bandits that, like, always come back later in other episodes. But she gets into a fight with them, and then she keeps going. And then we cut back to Baylan and Shai. I'm getting their names. I'm going to write their names down next time so I say them correctly. But they're then told by Thrawn to go after Sabine once she finds Ezra, because that's double cross. Like, once she finds him, they're going to die. So they do that, and Thrawn doesn't really care if Baylan and Shai do come back, because he, like, thinks, oh, the Jedi are a dying breed. So he just wants to get out of there, because he's been exiled for way too long. He just wants to leave. So Sabine comes across these rock aliens, and they lead her to Ezra, and we finally have them reunited. Now, for me, I felt the emotion. I just wasn't, like, so blown away or, like, filled with, like joy. I was filled with joy. I was happy that she was reunited with him. I just, like, I don't really care about Ezra and Sabine because they were kind of the dumbest characters in Rebels. Sabine's been really consistent lately. Like, she was dumb in Rebels and she's kind of dumb here, but, like, Ezra, the guy who plays him, looks great. I think they did some of his eyes, because his eyes are really blue. Like, really, really blue. Like Avengers Hawkeye under mind control blue. It's really noticeable. But they're reunited. Loving scene. If you're a Rebels fan, you're probably, like, jumping for joy. If you were me, you're like, oh, cool, she found Ezra. Great. And then later on, or earlier in the episode, we then really learn of Baylan's plan once they find Thrawn and once they get everything. The way he talks about his plan is so good. I think this is what, like, the way he talks about his plan, it reminded me of Kylo Ren, but it was written in a way that it made sense. Where Kylo Ren just wanted to end, it's an ongoing cycle, basically, like, war keeps happening, the Jedi come, they die, and then the war starts all over again, and yada, yada, yada. It's the same formula. The way Baylan talks about just wanting to, like, end the cycle, like, really had me, like, focused, and I wanted to, like, almost see his plan, like, be fulfilled, or, like, I wanted to see him succeed, or, like, I loved it. And the way Kylo kind of talked about like, it's kind of the same plan, just like explained differently. Kylo explained it like really badly. It's like, just let the past die, kill it if you have to. That's all right. But Balin explains it because he's not only like a Sith, but he also was a Jedi during the Clone Wars era, and he got to see all the downfall. He finally realized like all the lies and like politics and all like the darkness that went through like the Jedi Temple, and he's like, we need to like just break the cycle. That is really good. He should have just been the main villain, to be honest, because I love his plan. But later on, he and Shai meet the bandits that ran into Sabine, and they're clearly gonna team up with them in the next episode. And then Thrawn is alerted that the whales are approaching, and that there's an aircraft with them. And Thrawn realizes, oh, it's Ahsoka. So he's like, get all the weapons ready, and when they come here, hostile, be very hostile. So next episode's gonna be really action-packed. It's gonna be full of drama. I'm really excited. I love how this episode went. The build-up to finding Ezra took way too long, I think, because there were so many moments where it could have been, there he is, but like they were dragging it out a little bit. So that's the only thing. I thought it was a good episode. If I would rate it, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now that's a good rating. That's a good rating. Yeah. So that's all I gotta say for the most recent episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's try and get us to 400 subscribers. And yeah, tune in next week. Bye.